Oh, wait, I can't see the chat.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Cookies, Cocoa, and Questions number two. For an icebreaker, we decided to make it like you were in grade school again. What did you do on your midwinter vacation? Enter it into the chat for a chance to win a door prize. Let us know what you did, or if you did nothing. That counts too. Pop that in the chat now. Who did what? Cookie booths. Yay! You work and oh the nice. Is that the LSAT or the bar? Hike, beautiful. Pre pre bar, I pre bad pre bar. Look, phew, Puerto Rico. Oh my God! I'm so sorry, Jessica. Jessica dislocated and fractured your shoulder. That's no fun. Are you in a sling? That's no good. Children's Museum, MoMA. Oh, I want to go with Anita. That sounds fun. We need to get you something to to bling out your sling. Relaxed and spent time with family. Very nice, nice. You had your cupboard cookies delivered. Yes. Katrina had, Katrina took one for the team and had how many cases are in your living room right now? Four, 400. 400 cases in her living room. She can't sit down. What else? If you are just joining us, welcome, welcome. What did you do for your midwinter break? Let us know in the chat, and we will do a door prize, and anyone who enters in will be eligible. Worked from home, as did I, because it was freezing. Yes, last week. Worked, worked. Went to Iceland. Lovely. I have always wanted to go. Um, did you do the bar that's like in the cave, the ice cave? Relax. Spent time with family. Yes, there you go. Not making school lunches. I'm sorry, Merle. I didn't have midwinter break either. I'm with you. Oh, ceramics. Very, very, very cool. Um, Ice cave hiking, Northern Lights. You did it all. That's the big trifecta for Iceland. All right, we'll get started in just a moment. If you are joining us, welcome, and let us know what you did on your midwinter break for a chance to win a door prize. Pop it into the chat now. Who else? Went to Florida Keys, beautiful. Worked. Well, that's no fun at all, Lauren. Going to the doctors. I hate the doctor. I mean, she's a very nice person, but I hate the doctors. All right, it is now 6:35. I say we get started with cookies, cocoa, and questions number two. Next slide, please. A bit of housekeeping as always before we start. Please mute yourself. If you would like to put a V for volunteer, a P for parent guardian, or a B for both in front of your name, please do to let us know who you are, what you do. And feel free to add your pronouns to your Zoom name as well. Please hold questions until the end. And please do not put questions in the chat yet, as they might be missed. Also, please don't direct message the staff with questions. Someone else in this meeting probably has the same exact question as you do, and you do us all a service by asking it in open forum. Okay, let us get started with this evening. Here's what we have on the agenda. We're going to talk about Girl Delivered in the post season, because remember, it's still on. We'll talk about the cookie drive-through, talk about some cookie booths, cookie cupboards, the cookie finder and cookie connector map, and then we will answer all your questions. Next slide, please. But before we get to that, I want to share how well the sale is going and how amazingly wonderful GSGNY troops and Girl Scouts are doing. We're about halfway through, a little over halfway through, and we have sold 825,000 packages. So that is an amazing number, an extraordinary number. And that means that we have almost reached $1 million in troop rebates coming back to GSGNY troops. So amazing job on that. We have over 5,300 girls selling, and our initial order was up 35%, which is bucking the national trend. Uh, Almost every other council is down. GSGNY is up. So that is a kudos to the strength of our leaders. And we've raised almost 50,000 packages for Operation Gratitude for our first responders all across the country. So those are some happy numbers to start off with. Next slide, please. Okay, it's time for a door prize. Casey, who won our first door prize?
Our first door prize winner is Lindsay R.
Lindsay R. Yay! Casey will drop her email in the chat right now, and if you want to email her your address, we will send this to you, and we'll pop that in the mail tomorrow. Okay, next slide. I am now going to turn it over to Heather Riney, who will talk all about girl delivered orders in the postseason and the 3 easy steps to fulfill them.
Okay, so as Mike said, this season girl delivery does remain on for the postseason. And we have our steps. The caregivers are going to check with the troop cookie manager to make sure that they can get the cookies before they approve the orders. 3 ways that the caregivers can obtain the cookies is from any unsold inventory that the family may have on hand to fulfill the entire customer order, from any unsold inventory that the troop has on hand to fulfill the entire customer order, from troop extras or booth cookies, or the troop can place a cupboard order to fulfill the entire customer order. Once the caregiver approves the order, they'll need to let the troop cookie manager know how many packages they need if they're not already in possession of the cookies. And at that point, the troop cookie manager may place a cupboard order. If the cookie manager would like, they can allow the parent to pick up the cookies. They just need to add the parent into eBuddy as a troop pickup only user, and then deliver the cookies to your customer. And what's real important is that you will not be charged twice for the girl delivery cookies. The money will automatically adjust in eBuddy for you.
Fantastic. And that last part has been a little bit confusing. A lot of people were concerned about double paying. So the money is collected through digital cookie and then transfers to eBuddy. So you do not have to worry about that. Okay. Cookie drive-through this Saturday, March 1st. We are hoping to see many of you. At the Bronx, we will be at PS 392. This is where we were last year on that road behind the school. It's very long. Brooklyn, we have moved back to the Brooklyn Cyclones parking lot, which is where we were pre-COVID. Again, plenty of parking. In Queens, we've been upgraded. This is a change. We were in the back of the building, and now we're in the big lot in the front. So spread the word. We are in the front, which is actually where we held it 2 years ago in that giant parking lot. And in Staten Island, we will be at the Zion Lutheran Church, which is where we were last year. Next slide. Okay, let's talk about booths. There are 3 types. There are troop booths. This is where troop leaders secure the booths. Troop leaders provide the cookies. The troop arrives at the location and sells cookies, and the location is entered into eBuddy by the troop leader. Big number 2 are council-sponsored booths. This is one where council secures the booth. We may have a partnership with them, or a local business may have reached out to us and said, we would love to hold a booth. Troop leaders again provide the cookies, and the troop arrives at the location and sells the cookies, and the location is entered into eBuddy. No, this is wrong. the location is not entered into eBuddy by the troop leader. The location is entered into eBuddy by council. Someone didn't make this slide right.
We talked through it. I wrote it
That's-
down and
That's my own fault. Sorry, everybody. That's a me thing.
I'll fix it.
Big booths. These are the troop and council collaborate to secure the location. So a perfect example of this is Stuytown. This weekend is having a booth, and they said, "Can we use this as a big booth? We deliver the cookies, and you must be able to sell 80 cases, and it must be coordinated with the cookie team. So these are not automatic. They are also not entered into eBuddy. This is something that we do in the back end. And those are your three kinds of booths. Next slide, please. We have over 1,000 council-sponsored booth locations available in eBuddy from now until the end of the program. One of the things we heard last year was, can you help us get more council-sponsored booths? And we have a lovely new promotion with Wendy's. So we have 1,000 council-sponsored booths. If you are looking for a location, we have them in every borough. Also, you do not need to stick to your borough. Should you like to do a booth in another location, we encourage that. Just make sure that you sign up for it. And my only on bended knee, if you are going to cancel your booth and you have signed up for it in eBuddy, please cancel your booth in eBuddy so that it is taken out of the locator. It leads to very frustrated customers and very nasty emails. Okay, next slide. I'm now going to turn it over to Heather again to talk about cookie cupboards.
I forgot. I can unmute myself. So here's a list of all of our cookie cupboards. As you can see, we've got some in each of our boroughs. Most boroughs have at least two. And this is also available on our website under the cookie section with the forms. And forward here. And just a few cupboard reminders. So troops will not receive a confirmation email or phone call once they submit their cupboard order. The cupboard managers will see that order on their end once it's been placed, and they are planning for that order to be picked up by you on your date and time. Please be on time for your pickup. Cupboard managers may have other pickups to fill right after your scheduled time. So they're kind of in the groove. And that just will, that delays everybody coming down the road. Bring wagons, shopping carts, bags, extra hands, whatever you need to transport your cookies. The cupboards do not have these items for you. Cupboard orders show as pending in eBuddy until they're picked up. Once you pick up, the cupboard manager will unpend and release them to the troop. And then just be sure to confirm that you picked up your orders on the transaction pickups tab. That helps us at the end of the season so that we know that all the cookies have been picked up, and we're not reaching out to see if you actually got your cookies. We don't want to charge anybody for any orders that weren't picked up, so we can get those deleted out. So just make sure you confirm those.
Fantastic. And just again, a loving reminder. These are wonderful, wonderful volunteers who have opened their home and said, please put 400 cases in my living room. So be kind to them. Next slide. Okay, the Cookie Finder and Cookie Connector map. GSA's Cookie Finder is located at girlscoutcookies.org. And to participate, please make sure that your troop site is up and published. That is all you have to do. You simply have to open your troop site and set it up and publish it, and it automatically leads into the GSUSA Cookie Finder. GSGNY's Cookie Map is for troop sites, was for troop sites, and now it has turned into girl sites. This does not automatically populate. You have to opt in, and Corey will pop in the opt-in form to the chat. The parent has to opt in because we do not want people having access to girls that they are not familiar with. Also, one other thing, remember girl delivery is still on. So if you do not want to accept girl delivered orders, I would possibly maybe think about not doing the cookie connector map. But if you would like to, here is how you do it. And those are updated every Thursday, I believe. Okay, next slide. Upcoming events. March 26th, we will have another Cookies, Cocoa, and Questions. We will answer all the questions about how we close out the program. There'll be stuff on allocation. You won't want to miss it. Next slide. And of course, contact info for Digital Cookie. These are particularly important for order issues and website problems. We do not fulfill the orders ourselves. We do not have any control over it. So if your order is incorrect, you must contact GSUSA, who will contact Evans, the fulfillment center. I wish that we had a little bit more control and a little bit better customer interaction on this, but again, we don't have that information past anything that we can see in Digital Cookie. We also do not administer Digital Cookie. So please, please, please get in touch with GSUSA. And you can do that via the web, or you may live chat with them, or you may call them at 855-530-4467. And both the live chat and the GSA phones are manned from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next slide, please. We love hearing from you. We love to share your successes. And our Marcoms is always, always, always looking for ways to share and promote. So if you'd like to scan this QR code, and don't worry, the deck will be sent and this will be contained in it. Please let us know what you're doing. We would love to highlight you and support. Next slide, please. Time for door prize number 2.
Our door prize winner number 2 is Crystal Sheeran. Congratulations, Crystal.
Yay! And Casey will pop her email into the chat once more. And we'll send that out tomorrow. Okay, now time for the fun. For me to answer all your questions about Cookie Season 2025. So if you want to pop them into the chat, Casey is going to throw them at me, and we will play the game show of me answering your cookie questions. Will there be another free shipping period? Ooh, right off the bat, I saw that one. Okay. Yes. Yes, there will be. It will be announced tomorrow night. Keep this under your hat until tomorrow night. It'll be announced tomorrow night at the association meeting. But yes, there will be another free shipping period. You're so welcome. We love being able to make that investment. All right. Questions. And I answered that one before my tea. Casey, throw them at me.
Let's see. I don't see any questions at the moment.
We have a question from Anita O. It says, I know you mentioned that we can pick up post-IO orders at the cupboards, but is there a way to input that info into eBuddy?
Don't know the answer to that question, so I'm going to ask both Corey and Heather if that scenario has happened to you.
Heather, do you want to take it or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for any orders that you need where you don't have additional product, you will need to put in a cupboard transaction and pick up at a local cupboard.
Great. Cool. Corey has done Girl Delivered. For a long time, we were the only council in the country that turned off Girl Delivery after the initial order. Okay. Casey, next question, please.
All right, our next question is from Cassandra. Can we only pick up 20 cases from cupboards until March 1st?
Correct. And the cupboards are running a little thin. The thought on this being that we want to make sure that everybody who needs inventory has it. So, and again, that's just until Saturday. So for the next 96 hours. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Next question.
Our next question is from Lindsay R. For a council-sponsored booth in front of a store, will they have a table? A, will they have a table for us? And B, will they let our girls use the restroom?
They may or they may not have a table for you. It is not required. So I would plan on bringing my own. And also, I cannot promise you that they will let the girls use the bathroom, but I have a feeling if there is one there, more than likely you will be able to use it. Again, that is not something we can stipulate. It's not in the booth agreement contract. So
Also, in the council sponsor booths, when we've been putting them in the system, if the store indicated that they will provide a table, we do make that a notation under notes.
fantastic. Thank you. Merle France, you have your hand raised. Cool. Lovely. Would you like to unmute and ask it?
Yes, Mike.
Hi, Merle.
I have a parent
Mhm.
who is still working her emails, getting those girl delivered orders in through, and people are ordering. So those cookies, as you said before, would have been paid for through the digital.
Correct.
So if I send her to the cupboard to pick up those cookies, how do I tell them that those cookies are paid for? What do I do to let them know that?
To let the cupboard know,
Yes.
it will be the trip in eBuddy. You can make a note of it.
Oh, okay.
Merle, if you pick up cookies from a cupboard after the cupboard has nothing to do with payment of those cookies. Those cookies are already paid for, so the cupboard doesn't know, because technically the cupboard cookies are all released on consignment. But on the council side, you will see a payment towards your troop and on the girls tab underneath the girl who had that girl delivered order. So the payment
Okay.
will already be applied. But
So all she will have to do is go and pick them up.
yes,
Correct.
yes, the cupboard.
Okay.
The
All right.
cupboard just gives out cookies. They don't worry about the handling of the money or the funds.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And just
That was it.
because Corey used a word that I don't particularly use with this program, booth council are they're on credit, so there is no money ever changing hands at a council. I mean, at a cupboard.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Merle. Next question, please.
All right, our next question is from Crystal. Once I book my cookie booth, do I have to do anything else to get it published to Cookie Finder?
You have to enter it into eBuddy. So once you do that, and it is approved in eBuddy, then it will automatically pop up in the Cookie Finder. Good question.
All right, next question. Anita, if we made an error for cookie distribution for a booth sale, can we just re-enter it?
Yes, you can reallocate.
All right, our next question. Hi, for troop-led cookie booths, we need permission from council, correct? A local business approached our troop and said we could have a booth at their business. Do we need to get permission before we schedule a time to run the booth?
So when you enter it into eBuddy, we then review all of them. And unless there is a jarring reason why we have to say no, we say no to most of them. So just enter into eBuddy, and then we, as the cookie team, approve them. And once you're approved in eBuddy, you're good to go. Again, just a gentle reminder, if it is a place that a Girl Scout could not purchase something, as in a liquor store or a dispensary, those are the two that jump out that we wouldn't approve. But other than that, you're good to go. Next slide, please. Or yeah, it's cookie season. I have cookie season brain.
Our next question is from Maureen. We have customers asking why we are having cookie booths before they receive their cookies. Is there any way we can have the booths after the cookies have been delivered to the initial order customers?
As in, that is a change that you would like to see in seasons upcoming?
Should I ask Maureen to come on off mute?
Sure.
And Mike, that is how we used to do it. But just, so you know, long ago.
Yeah, we changed about 5 seasons back because we had a lot of volunteers request to be able to do booths as soon as possible.
That is why we changed it.
Yep. And the majority of our sale that the girls do at the beginning are friends and family, so they're well aware of the timeline of when they're going to receive their cookies.
Mike? Hey,
Hi.
hi. It's just because some people have been complaining and my husband has to hear about it because they're friends of his that are saying it. So he's
Ah.
asked me to ask about it. So
That it never hurts to ask. So that is why we do it that way.
okay. I'll tell him that.
Right. Make me the bad guy. Feel free to make me the bad guy with your husband.
I'm
I'm
sure
prob-
it's not just him though. I think it might be
I'm
some
sure. No, I
other-
mean I hear it too on the thing. It's more in the case of we have more people who want to do it than the customers that are cranky about it. So
Yeah.
it's just all playing the odds, but it's certainly something to consider going forward.
Okay. And I had another question I wrote there about the big booths when they're going to be announced.
So big booths are not announced. Big booths are you would find a site. So let's say Casey wants to do a big booth. Casey has a great idea of where she wants to do it. She writes into Heather or me, either one of us. We send you a WooFoo form to ask a little bit more information, and then we all have a conversation about it to make sure that it's something that we think is doable.
Okay. So the troop has to have a location for it then.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks,
Thank you.
Marie.
All right, our next question is from Jessica. Will cookie managers see if a girl has a pending approval order, or do we have to rely on the parents to let us know what they need?
You have to rely on the parents to know what you need. So they must tell you what they need. It will not automatically populate.
Great. Our next question is from Cassandra, and she has
Cassandra, I believe. Cassandra Colazo?
Yes.
It's
Oh,
Cassandra.
sorry.
No problem.
She has parents who have to have or who want to have their own cookie booths from their inventory. What is the best way to keep track of payment for these cookies?
From their own inventory. Come off mute and let's chat about this because I think I know what you mean.
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
What
Well,
do you mean when you say their own inventory?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant the troops inventory. Basically, when I get my delivered my initial orders, I also order like 120 cases
Mhm.
for remaining booths. So two of my parents want to do their own booths. I just want
Right.
to know what is the most efficient way of my keeping track of whatever they're taking and getting payment because I've never done
I-
that before.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and it's the first time I've ever heard it's ever been asked of me. So I can just tell you what I would do, and that would be is I would keep a paper receipt. I would maybe make something, that says I am acknowledging that I am taking 2 cases of Thin Mints and 3 cases of Samoas, and that I am fiscally responsible for returning in whatever that is, the dollar amount. I can't do math that fast in my head. Um, just making sure that you have a receipt, they have a receipt, and everybody's on the same page. And then they should turn the money into you so that you can deposit it into the account, and then we'll sweep for it in April.
Okay, because I know there is a form where parents, if there's a delinquency because of parents, that
Mhm.
council could then go after those parents requesting payment.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I think as long as everybody's on the same page, that's the way I would do it.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Mike.
Cool. You're very welcome. 120 cases. Wow. Amazing. All right. Next.
Our next question is from Abby. How does a parent or a cookie manager know which cookies and how many are available in the cookie cupboard for girl delivery?
And that's an amazing question. I'm going to ask Heather to unmute because she is the keeper of the cupboards. She is the cupboard manager of cupboard manager.
Unfortunately, and I don't think there is a way for the troop leader or cookie manager to see that. I would say, I mean, we plan to keep them very well stocked through the season so that cookies will be available. I would say if you've got like huge orders, reach out to the cupboard manager of that cupboard that you want to pick up from, and they can let you know, at that specific moment if they've got what's needed to fill your order.
That was
But
going to be my answer.
feeling that these are going to be smaller orders and not, 30, 40 cases for booths. So the cupboard manager should be able to easily fill them.
Excellent.
I also want to add that if you go into the transaction tab to put an order in, if you select that cupboard, right next to it, you will see little color coded for each flavor. And the ones that are absolutely out do have an X on them. So you'll see right next to it that they definitely do not have at all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sylvia.
And that does not mean that they won't have that variety for the entire program. It just means that they're temporarily out of that variety and they'll be getting a new restock on it.
And we look at cupboards pretty much on a daily basis during cupboard season. So we keep an eye on what's low and what they're out of stock of at that moment so that we can turn it off or they can turn it off themselves. So we try to keep on top of that so that you guys aren't putting in orders for things that cupboard doesn't have.
Fantastic. Next question.
Our next question is from Lindsay. I can see that my transaction is pending, but also that there is a ready for pickup drop-down menu. How will I get confirmation of my pickup? Should I not expect to see ready for pickup before we go get them?
Ms. Riney.
I'm puzzled because I can't go into eBuddy to look at it. So, okay, how will you get confirmation of your pickup? So once you've picked it up, the cupboard manager will be able to release that order. And then on that transaction pickups tab, it will say next to it, confirm. And that way you're able to confirm that you received those cookies. Lindsay, if that doesn't answer it, send me an email. That way I can look in eBuddy and include your troop number so I can look at the screen and see exactly what you're looking at and make sure that I get you helped correctly.
Awesome.
All right, our next question is from Crystal. We have a few girl delivery orders after IO submitted. If we're going to take the cookies from our booth cookies we ordered, how does the payment the customer paid online go towards those cookies?
So that will automatically transfer over from eBuddy, from Digital Cookie to eBuddy, and eBuddy will make a record of it. So it'll balance out in the end. You don't have to do anything.
And that looks like our last question.
Our last question.
Can I just speak about girl delivery really quick?
Maybe.
Don't mind. Well, no, it's real simple. Whenever you give your girl delivered cookies to girls, so if you give them additional product after the initial order, please, please, please write a receipt so you have a record of it at the end of the sale. That's all I advise you. Make sure that you write a receipt when you give those girls these cookies.
That is an excellent idea. And we still give out the little receipt books, don't we? So feel free to utilize those. I know.
And we have extras in the office. So if somebody is writing a ton of receipts, check with your service unit cookie manager first. They may still have some, and then reach out and we can always drop another one in the mail to you.
Boxes of them. We will happily send them to you. Okay. I'm going to do this the way I always do it. Any more questions going once? Going twice? All right. That concludes Cookies, Cocoa, and Questions number 2. Thank you so, so much for joining us. Have the next slide, please. Thank you so, so much for joining us. And now my favorite slide of the evening. Good night. Our adorable panda that Heather found. Good night, good night. Thanks for joining, friends.
Katrina, I always stay on for the after party.
There is no after party. There is no after party.
Well, Katrina wants me to stay on. We got a little after party.
Actually, can the two of you connect offline
Yeah.
via phone? Just because the Zoom and Casey, we can start